Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for all-out war. Folks, it really comes down to this. Our country is at a tipping point. There has never been a more deeper and more critical crisis than what we are facing right here, right now. There's never been a time in the history of American politics, in fact, I don't even think there's ever been a time in human history where we have seen a political party run so close to the finish line only to create a mutiny and to start running away. That proves all along what Donald Trump has been saying, that the political system here is rigged. I've said in earlier videos that the Republicans have been shooting themselves in the foot. And I've been saying that actually well before the recent controversy. And yet we continue to believe that the establishment Republican Party is for conservative values and for conservative principles. And that's absolutely not the case. And the abandonment and the mutiny that we have experienced regarding this Donald Trump campaign, it proves all of that. It proves all of those suspicions. It proves all of those allegations. Folks, there is no honor in abandoning Trump right now. When you've been supporting Trump and supporting the Republican ticket up and down, and then you decide at the, with 30 days to go, you decide, hey, I'm going to run away. I'm going to quit. You're going to quit? You're going to quit because of some video that was broadcast from 11 years ago? You're going to quit because somebody made a vulgar comment 11 years ago? And in this case, this is the sexism jihad. I'm sorry, folks, but you got to give it a break. Okay, you got to give this a rest. This was done. These were comments made 11 years ago. They don't have a reflection on what is happening today. They certainly do not reflect the Donald Trump of today. Because can you imagine if we were all judged by the comments and the actions that we committed 10, 11 years ago? I mean, some of the things I've said last week, I've regretted, okay? We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So to judge someone's entire life, to judge someone's entire breadth of character based on an isolated incident from 11 years ago makes absolutely no sense. And one of the problems that we face with the Republican Party is that they made such a big deal about it. They could have easily just said, hey, we have no comment, or hey, this was something that happened 11 years ago, let's move forward. Let's pivot away from this issue. And let's focus on the larger issue, the broader concerns that we have with the Democrats and especially Hillary Clinton. Let's talk about how she failed to save the life of a U.S. ambassador. Let's talk about the national security, how she left us vulnerable, that our secrets were basically taken away by the Russians or the Chinese or whoever. Let's talk about her connections to Saudi Arabia, who is known to be a human rights violator, especially violating the rights of women. Let's talk about that. Hillary Clinton talks about how she's a woman, that she understands women's issues and women's health. Let's talk about that, because she is owned by Saudi Arabia and by Qatar, who, again, these Muslim countries are violators, abhorrent violators of women's rights and women's health issues. So we need to bring everything into a broader context. The Republican Party had an opportunity to pivot away from a very, very minor issue and focus on the larger concerns. And that is exactly what we should be doing. These are the Republican Party, you have to understand, they're paid tons of money to be professional politicians. I'm just some asshole on YouTube. And yet, somehow, I exercise better judgment than the Republican Party. Folks, it simply makes no sense whatsoever.